All right, we're going to start here with Michigan Penn State. Obviously, you look at the numbers. Michigan didn't throw the ball once, I believe, in the second half. Didn't really have to. J.J. McCarthy ends up going 7-8 for 60 yards, no touchdowns. But on the ground, Blake Corum, 26 rushes, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. Donovan Edwards, 10 rushes, 52 yards, a touchdown, including a huge touchdown on 3rd and 11. They hit him a couple times on 3rd and long, twice on the ground. But, David, when you look at this game, we said all week, Penn State has not shown you or shown us the ability to hit explosive plays. And Michigan is like gravity. It's a John Mayer song, right? It's the first thing when you get past the Kuiper belt or whatever. You start to feel it. And over time, eventually, if you're not able to hit some explosives, which Drew Aller and them weren't, once again, 10 for 22, 70 yards, 1 touchdown. Katron Allen had 12 carries for 72 yards, no touchdowns. Obviously, Drew Aller had the touchdown on the quarterback scramble there. But when you look at this game, I feel like it went exactly like how Michigan thought it was going to win or go, and exactly how they needed it to go with or without Jim Harbaugh, which we'll get into in a second. But just, I mean, what do you think, man? That was just a smush fest.
Well, I have to say there's been a lot of emotions over here in this household since the last time I saw you guys, which was Friday morning. You know, the news breaks Friday afternoon that Michigan's going to be without head coach Jim Harbaugh, and then there was a filing of a temporary restraining order, but it's a national holiday, and they couldn't get it done in time. And, you know, just the move by Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti to suspend Jim Harbaugh while he's on the plane en route to State College, I think is such a gutless and spineless move, and it's sort of indicative of the conference writ large. You know, new commissioner, but same sort of problems. For this team to get off the plane and to go play without their head coach in that fashion, I thought that says everything you need to know about these young men. Some of the play calling down the stretch, was I surprised? I mean, if you told us we weren't going to throw a pass in the second half, I thought, okay, well, it's the Midwest, it's Big Ten football, maybe a blizzard came through overnight or something. I don't know if Sharon Moore just went in there and said, what is the best way that we can embarrass Penn State, and it's by not throwing a pass in the second half. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I was a little bit surprised. That sort of game plan is not going to win the football game in 2 weeks against the Buckeyes. That sort of game plan is not going to beat Georgia or Alabama. But that's not who they were playing. They were playing Penn State, and I think Sharon Moore knew exactly what you've been saying all week, Jake. They knew what they had on the opposite side in Drew Aller. They knew what Penn State's strengths were and what their weaknesses were, and they said, hey, we'll take an 8-minute drive that only goes 45 yards and we kick a field goal. And you know what? That's good enough to win this football game. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to these young men for having the resolve to go on the road to beat a top 10 team in an environment like Beaver Stadium without your head coach on 10 hours notice. It's truly incredible.
Yeah. And, Blaine, I tweeted out when it got announced that Jim Harbaugh was going to be suspended for the rest of the regular season. This is the worst thing that could have it's the worst thing that could have happened to Penn State, right? You want to talk about motivation. You want to talk about adding fuel to the fire. You want to talk about pissing off a team that is uber talented, a team that has an identity, that's returned a lot of the same players the past 2 years that have played in a lot of games, won some big ones, lost some big ones. And also, you're giving a team now that doesn't have to search anywhere to find any motivation or manufacture any motivation to be able to go out and play against you, even though it's at your place at 11 o'clock. But again, we'll continue to say what I've said this whole time. You can't hide Drew Aller. You can't shelter your kid all the way through high school, and then they go off to Arizona State in college, and they're an absolute catastrophe the first year and a half because you sheltered them. The first party they go to, all of a sudden they're streaking in the quad asking if KFC's still open. You protected him the whole year because you knew you were better than who you were playing, and this isn't like it's J.J. McCarthy where you've seen him be able to throw against the top competition, and it's not that Drew can't do it. I don't think Drew's as great as what people think, but the timing, once again, and the lack of the ability to hit the home run really, really cost Penn State because, man, they were living in second five, dog. They were in second five the whole game.
Yeah. No, I thought this game went exactly how Michigan wanted it to go. And I think some teams and some guys enjoy being the villain, right? And Michigan team this year, I think they want to be the villain. I think it's a Jon Snow, whip your sword out in the middle of an army situation. Like, you're not going to be able to beat Georgia doing this. I know that. Yeah, I think you'll have a great chance against Ohio State if you control the line of scrimmage. And I thought, look, we all walked in. I picked Penn State, but deep down in my heart, we all knew who was going to win this game, especially Harbaugh after he got suspended. But it matters, like, it shows what Jim has set up culture-wise, not only players, but coaching staff, right? You saw the emotions at the end of the game that coach went through, not only thanking his players, but thanking Jim, right? Jim is setting this team up for the future. And I tweeted this: if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I'm walking my ass on that sideline. Who stopped me from getting on that sideline? And
Ohio State game, I'm walking out at home.
It's
like, best believe that.
Look, Jim, I'm telling you, this might be the difference against Michigan over the hump this year, against Georgia. Because at the end of the day, we can sit here and talk about all these teams, Florida State, Ohio State. It's Georgia and Michigan until it's not. And we all
Bama.
And we know that. After you watch, look, Ohio State has Marvin Harrison. That's it. Marvin Harrison Jr. That's it. Cal McCord, he's mediocre. He's not good enough to beat a Michigan team with that defense for 4 quarters, with that secondary.
Can I respond to the villain part? Because I was thinking about this for the last 36 hours, and I'm going to expound on it on a certain segment this upcoming
your name
Wednesday.
Was brought up, so yes, you may respond. You have 30 seconds.
Thank you, moderator. After this news broke on Friday, I thought, man, is the University of Michigan football team really going to be able to do something they've never had to do before, which is embrace the villain role? You know, you've seen like the Las Vegas Raiders are that sort of football team. Floyd Mayweather is that sort of boxer. Conor McGregor, like the University of Michigan football team has never like had to embrace being the villain role. Will they be able to do that? And then all of a sudden my phone started going off, and it has not stopped since this news broke, with friends and people, and some people I don't even know around the country, saying what a cowardly move by Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti. This is not right. Regardless of whatever the evidence is with violations, this is not right. And I thought, wow, he just single-handedly turned the tide and swayed the court of public opinion behind Michigan. That's at least what I think. You guys tell me how you view it.
Did he? What you think? Maybe he's pulling a move here to help Michigan out. Like this.
I don't think he's smart enough to do that. I don't think it's that calculated.
Look, do I think Sherrone Moore was genuinely like crying, like that was 100. I don't know. I have a hard time with that. You
watch your mouth.
Hey, I know. It was great. If it wasn't, it's pretty good acting. I got to give it to him. But you feel yourself starting to pull for Michigan, like you're saying, David, and we want to know what you guys think in the comments. And we're going to obviously rank. We do our updated rankings just right when they release the college football playoff rankings as well this week on Crane.
Did you hear the future news, though? In future news, Sherrone Moore has been suspended 6 games by the Big Ten for post-game profanity. Yeah. So I'm sure that'll...
Yeah. I heard it was 60 games, actually.
Oh, 60.
I thought it was funny. Did you see when J.J. McCarthy, when Michigan scored that last touchdown, and he was doing this?
Yeah, and Blake Corum did the Manny Diaz, too. But I'll tell you what, one thing on Penn State, though, that defense is legitimate. And when they got Chop Robinson back, you could see I'll tell you why they ran the ball so much in the second half. Those first couple drives, it was almost as if Michigan didn't take a right tackle. Chop Robinson was getting off the ball so quickly. J.J. McCarthy didn't have time to drop back. When they started pitching backwards and throwing on first down, that was when they were the most effective. But when Penn State and they won the line of scrimmage up front for most of the game. When Michigan was in 3rd and long, it was lights out. So that Penn State defense, I have to give them all the credit. If Drew Aller can continue to develop, I think they'll be more serious in the
that's Penn State's problem. There's always one catch with this Penn State team. They're really good at one thing, but they're not good enough in the other. This is a national championship caliber defense that Penn State has. It really is. And you saw Chop Robinson on the first drive. I mean, Michigan was fortunate to recover that fumble, or this game could have started off a lot differently in that place, even though it was 11 in the morning. But you see a national championship defense offensively, though. I mean, the passing game is just bad for Penn State, man. It's just bad. And I think Drew has a chance down the road. But even from an accuracy standpoint, I mean, look at that last drive. I mean, the communication, the last play that Penn State ran, that incompletion. I don't know who in the hell he was throwing. I know
it almost could have been grounding.
It really almost could have. I mean, I know he's ready for the guy to break in. And he broke out, but there were so many communication errors. The timing is still off. Another year where, look, I think James Franklin's a pretty daggone good coach. But another year of him not getting over the hump.